Welcome, brave soul. Tonight we uncover the dark tale of a cursed box that ensnared one family in its relentless grip. Beware, for what you are about to witness is no ordinary story. It's a haunting that never lets go. Will you dare to follow their footsteps into the unknown? The shadows await.
It all started when I found an old, weathered box in the attic. Dust covered, it felt unnaturally cold to the touch. I thought it would be just another forgotten relic, but something about it made me uneasy, as if it was watching me. As I opened the box, my daughter Emily curiously stood beside me. Inside were strange symbols carved into the wood, along with a faint whisper that sent chills down my spine. I quickly closed it, thinking my mind was playing tricks. That night, I couldn't sleep. The whispering from the box echoed in my ears, growing louder with each passing hour. Emily seemed restless too, tossing and turning in her bed. I could feel something wasn't right. The next morning I found the box in Emily's room, though I had left it in the attic. "Daddy, it was calling to me," she said innocently. My heart sank as I realized this was more than just an old trinket. It had a dark presence. Strange occurrences followed, lights flickering, cold drafts in sealed rooms, and shadowy figures in the corners of our vision. I wanted to believe it was all coincidence, but deep down I knew the box had something to do with it. I tried to throw the box away, driving far out of town. But by the time I returned home, it was waiting on the kitchen table, as if it had never left. Emily stared at it, her eyes distant, her face pale. My wife, always the rational one, dismissed it as paranoia. But even she couldn't explain the unshakable feeling of dread that now loomed over our home. The box was cursed, and we were trapped with it. The following night, Emily woke up screaming. I rushed to her room to find her clutching the box tightly. "It won't let go of me, Daddy," she cried. I tried to pry it from her hands, but it felt like it was fused to her skin. Emily began sleepwalking. She would wander through the house at night, murmuring in a language I couldn't understand. The box was always with her, as if it had become a part of her soul. I felt powerless to stop it. One evening, I noticed a dark figure standing at the foot of Emily's bed. I blinked, and it was gone, but the room had grown colder. The box seemed to hum with a low, ominous vibration, as if it was drawing something closer. I reached out to priests and occult experts, but no one could help. They warned me that the box was a vessel for a lost soul, trapped and cursed long ago. Its only escape would be through another, through Emily. Desperate, I tried to burn the box, but the fire wouldn't touch it. Instead, the flames seemed to recoil, as if the box commanded them to stop. Emily stood nearby, her eyes hollow, whispering in that same foreign tongue. The whispers grew louder each day. Emily barely spoke to us anymore. Her once vibrant laughter had been replaced by eerie silence. The house itself felt darker, as if the walls were closing in, suffocating us. I knew we were running out of time. The box had taken hold of Emily, and it was only a matter of time before the lost soul inside would claim her. I had to find a way to break the curse, no matter the cost. After weeks of research, I found an old journal buried in the local archives. It spoke of a man who had once owned the box, a collector of cursed objects. The last entry described how his daughter disappeared, consumed by the box's power. The journal detailed a ritual to contain the curse, but it was dangerous. It required me to confront the spirit within the box and sever its connection to Emily. Failure meant losing her forever, or worse, becoming a vessel myself. I prepared for the ritual, gathering the items described in the journal. Emily sat quietly, her eyes unfocused, as if she were already halfway gone. My hands trembled as I realized the gravity of what I was about to attempt. As night fell, I began the ritual. The air around me grew heavy, and the lights flickered uncontrollably. I could feel the spirit's presence, watching me, waiting for me to make a mistake. The box trembled, almost alive. Emily started screaming again, her voice echoing through the house. The shadows on the walls twisted and warped, forming grotesque figures that reached for us. I held on to the ritual, determined not to let the curse win. Just as the ritual neared its climax, the box flew open, releasing a surge of cold air and darkness. A figure emerged, a lost soul, its face twisted in agony. It lunged for Emily, but I stepped in front, reciting the final words. The spirit let out a deafening scream before being pulled back into the box. The lid slammed shut, sealing the soul inside once again. Emily collapsed into my arms, her body weak, but the curse had been broken. For now. Weeks passed, and life began to return to normal. Emily slowly recovered, her smile returning little by little. But something was still off. The box, though hidden away, still held a lingering presence in our home. I couldn't bring myself to destroy the box. Even though the curse was broken, I knew that some things should not be tampered with. It was a constant reminder of what we had been through and what we narrowly escaped. Emily no longer mentioned the box, but sometimes I would catch her staring off into space, her eyes distant, as if she could still hear the whispers. I feared the box hadn't truly let go of her. One evening, I found Emily sitting by the attic stairs, the box at her feet. "It's calling again," she whispered, her voice barely audible. My heart sank. The curse wasn't broken, it was only lying dormant, waiting for the right moment. I knew then that the box was not just a cursed object. It was alive, feeding off the souls it ensnared. And it wanted Emily. I had to find a way to end it once and for all, even if it meant facing the darkness again. I returned to the archives, desperate for answers. But the more I researched, the more hopeless it seemed. The curse was ancient, far older than the box itself. It had claimed many before us, and it would claim many more. I made the decision to leave town, hoping distance would sever the connection. But as we drove away, I glanced in the rearview mirror and saw the box, waiting in the back seat. There was no escaping it. Oh, I knew I couldn't run forever. The box had to be destroyed, but no fire, no ritual, no force could break its hold. The only option left was to face the spirit inside once more, but this time I had to go deeper. I contacted an old friend, a medium, who agreed to help me enter the spirit realm. It was dangerous, but it was the only way to sever the connection permanently. Emily's life depended on it. The medium performed the ritual, and I felt myself being pulled into a dark, cold place. It was the world of the cursed, where the souls trapped in the box resided. I could hear their voices crying out in torment. In the distance, I saw the figure from before, the lost soul that had tried to take Emily. It beckoned me closer, whispering promises of power and freedom. But I knew it was a lie. This was the soul of a tormented being. I confronted the soul, demanding it release Emily. It laughed, a hollow echoing sound that chilled me to the bone. "She belongs to me now," it said. "As do you." I refused to back down, reciting the words of the ritual one last time. The soul screamed, a sound that shattered the darkness around me. The box trembled violently in the real world as the connection between it and Emily broke. I was thrown back into my body, gasping for air. The box lay shattered on the floor, its curse finally broken. Emily was free, but the cost had been great. I knew the lost soul was still out there, waiting, watching. But for now, we were safe.
The story may have ended, but nightmares have a way of clinging to you, following you into the dark. Tonight, when the shadows lengthen and you feel that creeping dread, remember, some nightmares don't end when you wake up. If this story left you uneasy and you crave more terror, hit the like and subscribe button. The real nightmare is only just beginning.